I grew up as a people pleaser, and I believe that my purpose in life was to have as many people like me as possible. So I would walk on eggshells. I would do things that people wanted me to do. I would say yes when I really wanted to say no in situations, right? I would go to places I really didn't feel like going. I would do things I really didn't want to do. Hey, can you pick me up from this spot? No, I don't want to. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. I'll see you in 15 minutes. This person is a whole 30 minutes away. So now I got to speed. Now I got to stop doing what I'm doing. But that was my fault. I was holding on to this notion that other people's validation meant more than my own. And it's only within the last maybe 5 years that I've genuinely gotten to a place where I not only value my own company, but I deeply appreciate my own company. Right? I feel like many of us go through life believing that we need somebody else to affirm us, and that our own affirmation or our own validation of self means nothing. I'm not talking about this fake arrogance, this pride, or, whatever that may be, which is nothing more than fear in disguise. I'm talking about a genuine I can be by myself and I'm cool. I can go and eat by myself, table for one. I'm chilling. I'm not looking around to see if people think this is weird. Oh, maybe they're judging me. Man, I'm not cool enough to have somebody with me. As many times as I've been asked, oh, are you waiting for somebody? Mm-mm. Oh, by yourself? Yeah, by myself. It's almost like it's bending their brain to even think that somebody could just simply have their own company, enjoy their own company, let alone letting that be the most peaceful, and I'm not talking about being with your phone. Right. I'm not talking about being on devices and, being overly stimulated and Netflix. And I'm talking about I can be by myself. I can be taking a walk in the middle of the woods and I'm chilling or somewhere on a pavement in a city street with nobody to go back and forth with, not listening and tuned into something, just tapped in with myself. Because my company is a company that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life. And so the most valuable lesson I learned, again, within the last decade of my life, now getting into my 30s, or 1 year away from 30, is wait a minute. You spend all this time investing in everybody else and all these other relationships and, building goodwill with them and doing all this for everybody else. What about you? What about you? Well, I do treat myself. No, I'm not talking about buying yourself something. I'm not talking about indulging yourself in some sort of, consumer's behavior or just pleasure for the sake of pleasure. Though there's nothing wrong with, some of that. I'm saying, what about you? Can you just be with yourself and that's cool? Do you know how peaceful a life can be when you can be in that headspace and how beautiful your relationships become? Like, I love my fiance to life. I love that woman. I adore that woman. I love her company. I love when we're, together, even when we're saying nothing or we're talking for hours, whatever it may be. But I know at the end of the day, whether or not we're tapped in or we're talking or, we're engaging, whether or not she's here or not, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. And what that does to the relationship that I have with her is it creates a sense of true freedom. Because I don't need her to act a certain way in order for me to be emotionally regulated and vice versa. And so that's what it's done for my relationships. But what it's done for me is it's created peace in my life. I don't feel I have to deal with people. I don't feel I got to pretend anymore. I got to fake and I got to front in order just to, to keep appearances. I ain't got to show up to a job and smile when I don't feel like smiling. Because, if I don't do that, then I'm going to be seen as somebody who, is not cordial. I'm not somebody who is likable, and therefore people are going to be dismissive of me. And if they're dismissive, then I'm going to be by myself, and then people are going to look. I am in the public eye, right? I create content, therefore, I am liable to people's opinions of me, whether good, bad, or indifferent. I have accepted the fact that some people are just going to talk about you regardless. You can be the most quote unquote likable person ever, doing everything for everybody else, getting sick on the behalf of others, because it does make you sick. There is nothing more dangerous to your emotional state than playing a life on pretend mode. But imagine going through life having to constantly be vigilant of how people are feeling about you, how people are looking at you and perceiving you, thinking that just because you're being nice, just because you're being quote unquote cordial, just because you're engaging in the small talk or this gossip or whatever the hell they're going on about, that they're not about to talk about you anyway. They're going to talk regardless because that's what they do. They have nothing else going on in their life. The people who spend the most time trash talking everybody else, I'm including the people who smile in their boss's face and then right after work, oh, I can't stand him, I can't stand her, blah, 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 blah. Go right back, smile. You don't think that type of person is going to be talking about you once you leave? So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with people seeing me as a villain. And that was really when things shifted for me completely. I said, if somebody sees me as the bad guy in their story, does that confirm or affirm that that is the truth? No. I am who I say I am, or I am who I show up as in life. So if I am mistreating people, if I'm acting from a place of ego or from a place of bitterness or resentment or whatever it is, then yes, then they may be valid in their observation. But if somebody is seeing me as the bad guy because I'm not willing to engage in their BS, then, well, I mean, that's likely manipulation, right? It's like when you say no to somebody and now all of a sudden they don't like you. Now all of a sudden that, that smile they used to give you, the back and forth banter, whatever it was. Oh, we're family, my best friend. Say no one time. Say no 2 times, 3 times. Say no 5 times and see where that relationship is at. That's the only time you'll ever get to know what relationship you truly have with somebody. So for me, I'm not afraid to say no every time I feel like saying no. I don't ever do something I don't want to do because I don't want to live in a state of bitterness and resentment towards you or towards myself. I don't want to lie to you or me. I had people ask me, can you do one-on-one coaching, please? I need it. I had clients. And I said, look, I'm not in the space where I want to do that. I want to create content. I want to be able to communicate in this way, but that's a heavy load right there. That's a lot of weight. And most people don't really want to change. They just want to talk about things and regurgitate the very same story. And it's like, yeah, you could be paying me whatever, but my energy, my mental and emotional space, it's occupied. And I don't have space for that anymore. I'm not willing to engage in that anymore. I'm freeing myself from that. Oh, well, do you even care about people? Well, I do, but I don't have to prove that to you. If you can't see that I do, then that's between you and you. Or as I say, it's between you and the donkey that you rode in on. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to understand me. We're so busy trying to be understood, to be heard, to be seen. If they don't get you, they don't get you. There's people watch me every day. They don't get it. They're pissed off every day. People in my comments right now, they're going to be under this video just saying whatever. Didn't even listen to nothing. They're just pissed off in life. They won't get it. And I expect that. And I'm okay with that because I affirm myself. Being by myself is a gift. Being with myself is a gift. And genuinely, when you can make being with yourself a gift, it changes everything because in reality, you are always with yourself. And when you are trying to have people supplement, like be almost like a narcotic that you use in order to, to stimulate yourself or whatever it may be, or to, get a fix, right? You have the different people in your life, like they're a plethora of chemical compounds. Okay, this one is for a little bit of laughter. This one's for a little bit of, of that adrenaline. This one's for a little bit of that. This one's for a little bit of this. When you start to give yourself those things, when you start to create an exciting life for yourself, I'm not talking about getting on the physical dope. Like for me, I give myself to my purpose. I love doing this. I love doing what I do. I do it every day, like clockwork. When I'm not doing it, I'm thinking about it, right? Just like my girl, when it comes to interior and designing and creating things and just beautifying spaces or whatever, it's just in her. It's just there. It just is what makes sense. So I give myself to what is fulfilling, then I am fulfilled. I give myself the appreciation that I'm seeking from others, I am fulfilled. Instead of perceiving myself as having this void that only other people can fulfill. I love to have a beautiful, healthy, stable, functioning relationship, to build a family on top of that. But those aren't needs, because as soon as I need the relationship to do something for me, as soon as I need them kids to be something for me, that's when I start to control and to manipulate. That's when I start to, cling on to or to push away and to play these, these psychological games in order to feel like I'm in control. I don't need control over anybody else. Power is what I have, and power is personal. So I have power over my thoughts, my emotions, and my actions. I choose what I feed. So I'm not out here trying to control somebody else. And that's freedom for me. Being by myself, with myself, has been the greatest gift ever. I can do day after day. There used to be days when I was like, damn, I haven't talked to somebody. Maybe outside of if I was creating content or if I was writing a book or whatever it was at the time. I said to myself, wait, I haven't talked to anybody like physically. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I've been gone. I've been in my zone. I've been observing. I people watch sometimes. And, again, I love to engage and interact with life in a multitude of ways, but it doesn't have to be clinging on to anybody, because I don't need them to fulfill something. And therefore we can have a healthy relationship. I can have a conversation with you. I don't need to continue it. People might hook on to every word. Oh my God, we need to talk more. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't need to talk more. This was wonderful. This was lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this moment in time. Thank you for this, thank you for this, this moment in the time-space continuum. Enjoy the rest of your journey. Enjoy the rest of your ride. I ain't got to go like this. I ain't got to go like, no, absolutely not. I love you. And just because I'm not in constant communication doesn't mean I love you any less. Simple. I mean, again, enjoy your company. You may be a wonderful person, but I'm never going to cling on to you, because that takes away my freedom. That takes away your freedom in the relationship, because now I need you. There's people who hit you up all day. Again, they're getting a fix. They got to see where you're at, what you doing, what you got going on. Okay, come with me here. They can't even be by themselves. And that to me seems like hell on earth. That's why, again, I stick to myself, and it's drama free. When you are not a drama-induced person, when you are not filled with this chaos, which is work in and of itself, then it is peace-filled. You're no longer seeking out some sort of stimuli to get you going. You got to get the new story, the new this, who did what, what they got going on. Instead, you just focus and hone in on your own life. I talk about current events, topics, etc., but I unpack them in a way that is, that is interesting to me. That is profound to me. But I can't carry these stories with me everywhere and make it my business. There's certain things that are my business, as far as, helping people to get to a place where they break free from these limiting beliefs and, essentially this victim mentality that has, our people in a chokehold. Like those things, absolutely, that's my business. That's my mission. But it's not my job to save anybody. So I'm not beholden to that. I'm just beholden to telling the truth. It's really that simple. I'm not beholden to latching you on and pulling you out of the mess that you create for yourself. No, just like you're not for me. I tell the truth. I tell it as it is, and you can make a decision of what you want to do with that. Very, very simple. But when it's all said and done, my company will forever be the best company. And I hope that for anybody who's listening to this, like you can get to a place in your life where you're like, you know what? I really don't need to just be surrounded by whoever just to feel like I got somebody there. I feel so lonely. You know why you feel lonely? Because you don't feel whole within yourself. Loneliness doesn't come from a state of isolation. I've been surrounded by people I love and felt lonely. It doesn't come from solitude. It comes from an emptiness, a void within yourself when you don't tap in with who you truly are. I appreciate you for tapping into this video. And if you would like to show some love to the channel, make sure to click the link below titled Buy Me a Coffee, or you can send a Cash App, or, just keep showing up.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3, 6, 5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising. They see your light shine, that's why they so frustrated.